Hi, I'm Chris from Bosch. Today we've got 4 new drywall tools for you to show. We've built a set here. On this side you can see the metal profiles. We've got some typical wood construction behind us here, where we'll go through the different steps that a drywaller is going to encounter throughout the day. And we'll have Kim get us started for us.
Exactly. We're going to start over here on the concrete block by fastening some drywall track on here with our new Bosch cordless concrete nailer. After that, Alessia will move on to the next step.
Yeah, we will then hang up the drywall panel on the wall together with our new cordless drywall screwdrivers. We have here wood under construction, but of course you can also do that with metal under construction. And after that, Chris will show you the next step.
Yeah, so we'll continue with the cutout tool. Here we'll simulate also cutting out a door opening, but it can be used for windows, junction boxes, outlets, etc., any cuts that we need to make into drywall. Then Mitch will wrap it up for us.
Yep, I'm going to finish off with finishing the drywall. We'll start with sanding the walls and then move on to sanding the ceilings. So let's get into it.
Now I'm going to show you our cordless concrete nailer GNB ATME-38. So you might think, what does NB stands for? In German it means Nailer Beton. So nailer concrete, and 38 stands for the maximum nail length, 38 millimeters, which we are also having here.
Yeah, I see we have here some different nails. They also are wrapped in different stripes with different colors. Can you explain us the difference?
Of course, so here on your left-hand side you see our nails for concrete. They are called NB. The NB stands again for nail beton, so concrete, and they range between 16 millimeters up to 38 millimeters. On this side we have our metal nails. They are wrapped in a black stripe, and they're meant for metal, of course, between 13 millimeters and 19 millimeters. And they all come with certification ETA and ICC.
But why do we have different lengths?
So the different lengths are meant to be for the user to adjust for different types of materials, for example, like softer materials, like softer concrete, or harder material, for example, metal, or more thicker material you want to fasten to your surface. Okay, so it means, for example, if I want to fix some, let's say, wood into concrete, I will use a different nail length in respect to, I don't know, metal on concrete, right? Exactly. So you can choose what type of nail length you need in order to have a good fastening result in the end. And how many nails are fitting in the magazine? So we fit up to 22 nails in the magazine of the concrete nailer. So let's talk a little bit more about the tool. On top here, you see the depth adjustment for adjusting the nail depth a little bit. Can you also explain what's this button for? Yeah, so that's the follower, which you can pull back to put some nails in. All right, maybe I can show how to do that and then you can explain. Okay, first of all, we have to remove the battery. Really good. As you say, pull back the follower. We have here some extra nails. Insert the nails down here. Then put the follower back by pressing the button. Now we're ready to go. Exactly. So for taking out the nails again, you have to pull back the follower, slide the nails out, and then put the follower back. Okay. Exactly. And I see we also have your user interface in the back, right? Exactly. So to show the user interface, I'm going to put back the battery. And here you have 2 buttons on the user interface. The first one is the on-off button. By pressing, you will see that the LED shows a green light, so everything is okay, you can start working. And the reset button is whenever you have a troubleshooting, then you can reset this, right? Exactly. So for example, you have a jammed pin in your nose piece of your concrete nailer. The LED or the user interface will show a different light, so not green, for example, purple. Then you know, okay, something is wrong, or you have to check the tool. And after you have checked the tool, you can press the reset button and then continue working. Okay, and now that you have mentioned that, how can we remove the nails that are jammed into the tool? Yeah, let me show you. So first of all, you pull down the lever to take out the magazine. Then you pull the pin to take out the nose. And then what's also included in our scope of supply or packaging is this push-out pin to remove the jammed pins, for example.
All right, so if we have here, for example, a jammed nails, then we can simply push it out, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Cool.
And then putting back the nose piece here, put it in until the click noise, put back the magazine like that, and then you can continue working.
So now that you have explained all the features of the tool, what are the benefits of having a concrete nailer?
So the main benefit is that you don't need any gas cartridges inside here. It runs only on an 18-volt battery and it has a brushless motor. The next real benefit is that compared to drilling and doweling, you're way faster, more productive, and you don't have any airborne dust. Before I start working with the tool, I want to show you how to use it. So first of all, make sure that you are in a 90-degree angle to your material and you push the nose all the way down, like that. And don't forget your safety equipment.
Now I'm going to introduce you our new cordless drywall screwdriver. This is called the GTB 18V45. GTB stands for drywall screwdriver and 45 is the RPMs, so 4,500.
And can you tell us a little bit more maybe about the torque of the screw gun that we have
Yeah,
here?
sure. So this tools come with a soft torque of 6 Newton meter, and you can use screws with a diameter up to 6 millimeter.
So I can see a few more things here on the foot of the tool. Maybe you can explain to us what these functions are for.
Yeah, sure. So we have here a user interface, and you can see there's the symbol here. That's the symbol for our PowerSAVE function. Mm-hmm. This is with this function, you can work more efficiently because the tool, or better say, the motor of the tool is activating only when you press against the wall.
Oh, okay.
And I show you how to activate. Mm-hmm. So you press the button, the light will switch on, and then we can lock in the trigger this way. Mm-hmm. And now we're ready to go. And this feature has some advantages. First of all, as you can see now, you don't hear the sound of the motor all the time. But most important is that you save battery, so you will be able to do more screws or to use more screws with one battery.
Yeah, pretty cool. I can imagine having it on your belt hook here, putting it up, hanging the drywall panels and not having to worry about the switch. You put it up and then you can fasten each and every one. Oh, that's really great. Sounds really good. So Alessia, I know when you're hanging panels of drywall, it's also really important to be able to set the depth. You don't want the screws to be too proud, sticking out. You also don't want them to be too deep and going through the paper.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you set the depth on this one as well?
Yeah, of course. So every drywall screwdriver is coming with a depth stop, as you can see here. And we have here a small symbol explaining which direction you should twist the depth stop to have the right depth of the screws. For example, if you switch into this direction, then you will have the screws more proud, and on the other direction, it will be more sank.
Oh, okay.
All right. And yeah, this depth stop is also a bit special. We call it retractable depth stop because you can pull it towards the gearbox, so you can pull it back. We are offering this solution because we know sometimes you always have to screw or to remove a screw from the panel. And usually you have to remove the completely depth stop, and this is time consuming. With this depth stop, you can simply pull it back, and then you will be able to see the bit. I could show you how to do that.
Yeah, sure.
So you have to align the symbols that you can see here. And once these are aligned, you can pull it back this way. And you see now the bit is visible, and you can easily remove the screws from the wall.
Okay.
So I've just explained Chris how to activate the PowerSAVE function. I just want now to demonstrate to you how to use it. First of all, I'm doing that by using simply our drywall screwdrivers, and after that I will also show you how the PowerSAVE function works in combination with our AutoFeed attachment. As you can see, the GTB 18 volt 45 is compatible with our AutoFeed magazine attachment. But first of all, don't forget your safety equipment.
So for our next tool here, we've got the GCU 18V-30. GCU stands for Professional Cutout Tool, 18 volt for our battery class here, and 30 for 30,000 RPMs.
Cool, so how much power does this thing have? We know drywallers are often working with thicker materials and denser boards. Does it have the power to cut them all?
Yeah, so it's got a 340 watt equivalent motor, so it's definitely set up to be able to do the harder applications, OSB, plywood, double stack drywall. Together also for the performance aspect with our brushless motor and our 4.0 Procore battery, with a 12.5 millimeter thick drywall sheet, we can also get just about 100 linear meters of cutting capacity on this.
Sounds really nice. I also see that you've brought in some accessories here today. Can you tell me a little bit about those and what comes in the box?
Yeah, so everything that you see here, minus the battery, comes in the standard scope of supply. We've already got here inside the tool an 1/8 inch collet and an 1/8 inch bit. So the 1/8 inch collet is the metric equivalent of 3.2 millimeters. We have two more collets as well, a 5/32, which is 3.9 millimeters, and a 1/4 inch collet, which is 6.3 millimeters. Additionally, we also have one 1/8 inch bit, our wrench, and our dust extraction attachment as well. So we can put this also onto the foot plate of our tool pretty easily here. I can take off the foot plate, unscrew the knob here, take this off like so, put it right into our dust extraction here. The two tabs on the side go into the foot plate, push this up, reattach, and then depending on the depth that we need, how far behind the drywall panel we need to go, we can adjust this foot plate accordingly. Tighten the nut there, and then we're ready to go. So a few more features about the tool I'd like to tell you guys about here first off. We've got an LED at the front here for better working in darker spaces, our spindle lock here for easier changing of the bits here, and the last thing here at the bottom of the tool, we have our IP5X switch as well.
Really nice. So what is the benefit to the user of this IP5X switch?
Yeah, so the IP5X just means that it's a dust sealed switch. We really prevent any dust from getting inside of this switch. And you know, when we were doing a lot of the research for this tool and the development, we found out that there were a lot of issues and a lot of failures for the tool prematurely due to exactly the fine dust from the drywall panels getting into the switch area. So with this, we're able to address a common pain point of the user. We can extend the lifetime of the switch, which ultimately also extends the lifetime of the tool.
So is there anything else you can show us about the tool today?
Yeah, there's two more things I'd like to mention here. First, we've got our soft start and our motor brake. And probably best that I actually just show how these work here. So the soft start, we have a slow ramp up of the tool to allow us to have more control when we're going into material. And then our motor brake will stop the tool almost instantaneously as soon as I push the switch here. So let's have a look here and just see how these two features actually work. And with that, you can see that the motor stops instantaneously, bit's not spinning, and then we can set the tool down and work onto something else. Let's take a look at the tool here and making a couple of cutouts and some drywall now. To do this, we're going to want to attach our vacuum cleaner here as well. We've got the Gas 55M AFC. Of course, for drywall panels, that's more than enough here, but depending on what you're doing, of course, you want to make sure that you consider whatever the regulations are for that material. Let's attach the vacuum cleaner to our tool. Make sure it's nice and snug. Make sure that we don't have the air filter open there. We're ready to go. So before we get started, I'll put on my equipment here, personal protective equipment, and then we'll get started. So the last thing I'd like to show you from the cutout tool here is making a cut into drywall here for an outlet box. Not only can this tool be used for outlet boxes, it can be also used for access panels, for vents, any sort of cut that you might need to make into drywall. But for our purposes, I'll be showing you this on a junction box here as well.
So now we're up to the last stage of the drywalling process, and that's finishing the wall and preparing for paint. And today I'm going to introduce to you Bosch's first drywall sander, the GTR 55-225. It stands for drywall sander, the 55 stands for 550 watt of corded AC power, and the 225 stands for the size of the sandpaper. So let's have a look in the box.
So what all do we have here, Mitch?
So as you can see, it comes all organized neatly in this carry case, keeps everything protected. First off, we have the motor head. Second here, we have the extension piece, and that's going to extend the length of the tool from 1.1 meters up to 1.7. And lastly, we have the handle. Also in the box comes three cable clips and this M480 sanding net.
So Mitch, maybe you can run us through some of the features on this tool as well.
Sure, starting on the head of the tool, we have this patented ultra flexible head. And what that does is gives you an unobstructed range of movement, left, right, up and down.
And what's the benefit of that when you're actually sanding? Where does that come into handy for us?
Well, that's going to help you get a better work result easier by allowing the pad of the tool to stay in full contact with the work surface.
So you're not coming away from it, maybe getting a ridge into what you've already sanded, then have to respackle it then.
Right,
exactly. That makes sense,
Yep.
Okay. What else you got up there?
So also on the head of the tool, we have this removable brush. And what that does is allows you to get the pad of the tool with the sanding net right up to the corner. So that's going to minimize any need for manual hand sanding.
Okay. I see you've got here your sandpaper as well. Maybe you can show us how we actually can attach this also to the head of the tool too.
Yep, no problem. So this is the M480 sanding net, which comes as a standard scope of supply item. And what we do is we center that over the pad. It's 10 millimeters larger than the sanding pad itself, so it allows for easy positioning. And it's as simple as that.
Okay.
So now we're going to assemble the tool and have a little look at the different modes that make this tool stand out. So first step is to grab the handle and insert it into the head of the tool. And then we can use this locking mechanism here to secure the handle to the motor head tightly.
So what are we looking at for total length at this version right here, Mitch?
As it stands now, this is 1.1 meters and it comes in at a weight of 4.1 kilograms.
Okay.
If we are to put the extension piece in here, this comes to a weight of 4.7 kilograms and a total length of 1.7 meters. As an optional extra, you can purchase another one of these extension pieces and that would give you a total length of 2.3 meters.
Okay, so if you're like sanding in stairwells or really tall buildings like that with high ceilings, then you might need two, but typically this is going to cover the majority of use cases that you have.
Right, exactly. It's perfect for situations where you don't have a scaffold and you just need to get up to these higher heights.
Okay. You mentioned before that there's a couple of different modes for sealing and for wall sanding. Maybe we can take a look at those too.
Sure. On the head of the tool here, we have 3 positions on this lever. Position 1 is for wall sanding. Position 3 is for sealing sanding, and that activates sealing suction mode. And then setting 2 is an intermediate somewhere in between. This can be fine-tuned by the airflow regulator on the handle here, and that's going to allow you to dial in the optimal suction power.
Okay, so we can adjust these then with our vacuum here that we've got attached here. I see with the click and clean adapter as well. So depending on which mode that we're in, sealing or wall, we'll have to adjust also how much airflow we're allowing to come through from the vacuum cleaner as well.
Exactly right. So on top of that, you can also adjust the RPM. We have the RPM adjustment on the hand of the tool, everything within reach of the handle, so you don't actually have to take your hand off the tool.
And what sort of RPM are we looking at on this?
We're starting at 340 RPM on setting 1 and maxing out at 910 RPM.
Okay. And you mentioned also for the wall and the ceiling and different possibilities to use the tool here. I noticed also something pretty unique here is the grip. this seems to be a little bit different than some other models that we're used to.
Exactly, so that's our unique T-shaped handle, and that's going to allow you to work in extended positions and reduce fatigue while doing so.
Now, okay, you can kind of grip different positions, maybe at your hip height also, but if you're working overhead, then it can extend it and hold it on the T here.
Exactly.
And also some soft grip I can see up on the sides, so allowing for really a comfortable hold then.
Exactly, so we've been really mindful with the soft grip locations here, taking into consideration the common positions that people use this tool in.
Okay.
Now it's time to demonstrate the different sanding modes we have here, and we're going to start with wall sanding. The first step here is to activate wall sanding mode, and that's by moving the position of the lever there to position 1. From here you can adjust the airflow regulator to fine-tune the suction power from the vacuum to the wall. Here we have connected the GAS55M AFC. This tool can be used with any L or M class vacuum, but we recommend the vacuum has an automatic filter cleaning function to maintain suction power throughout the application. So also here we have our lights. This is very important for seeing the structure and detail of what we are sanding. We were going to set it up down here to get a good view of the wall. First of all, we need to put on our PPE before we begin work. Now that we've finished sanding the walls, it's time to finish the ceiling. So to do this, we're going to put in the extension piece to give us a little bit more reach up to the high area. So the first step here is to unclip the motor head from the handle, and then take our extension piece here, clip it in like so, and then now reattach the handle. The next step is to activate ceiling suction mode. So currently we are on wall sanding mode, and we need to put it from position 1 to position 3. And then while I am sanding the ceiling, I can adjust the airflow regulator on the fly to dial in that perfect suction. So I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. We've just introduced you to 4 new drywalling tools from Bosch.
Yeah, and all the tools that you see here, also the ones that are already existing on the market, we've used these to walk you through all the different use cases. From fastening the metal studs on the side here, to the wood construction behind us, hanging the plates, cutting out, and sanding and prepping for finish work as well.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, please write it down on the comments. And also, if you have already used our tools, please share your experience with us.
If you liked our video, please leave a like and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Outtakes.
Now I'm going to introduce you to our new concrete cordless concrete nailer.
So now that you have
Remove the foot plate. You can pick up our dust extraction here.
So what does the name mean? It stands for Gewerbliche Trockenbauschleife, and why did I just say